We have some breaking news this morning on the Ebola outbreak. The Texas Health Department has now confirmed the second healthcare worker has tested positive for the disease.
This, as the Centers for Disease Control now says it should have handled differently the first case of Ebola diagnosed in the United States. Eyewitness News reporter Brian Yacono is live in our newsroom with the new details this morning.
Well, good morning. First, a little bit of what we are learning about this breaking news right now. This healthcare worker, according to Texas state health officials, is in isolation now and did in fact care for Thomas Duncan, who died from Ebola just last week. Now, before this breaking news came out just a short time ago, we did hear from the Centers for Disease Control admitting that more should have been done by the agency at that Dallas hospital, where now 2 healthcare workers have tested positive for Ebola, and Thomas Duncan, the patient, has died from the disease. Now, the head of the CDC says had a special response team been deployed to Dallas immediately after the Ebola diagnosis of Duncan, a nurse who helped care for him may not have been infected in the first place. Duncan, if you recall, died last week. Meanwhile, we are learning more about that nurse, Nina Pham, who contracted the disease, the first healthcare worker. She studied some of the world's most feared diseases as a microbiology and infection prevention student. 2 months before Ebola was detected in the U.S., Pham received her certification in critical care. And as she's fighting for her life right now, the director of the CDC explains a change in protocol should Ebola be detected in the U.S. again.
We will put a team on the ground within hours with some of the world's leading experts in how to take care of and protect healthcare workers from Ebola infection.
All right, now the United Nations says if Ebola is not stopped, we are facing, quote, an unprecedented situation for which there is no plan right now. Providence native, by the way, Ashoka Mukpo, responding to the treatment he's receiving. That's at a Nebraska facility right now. In fact, the GoFundMe website that was set up to help pay for all this treatment now has pulled in $50,000 as of this morning. Of course, we'll keep monitoring this breaking news this morning of that second healthcare worker in Texas diagnosed now with Ebola. In the newsroom, Brian Yacono, Eyewitness News.
Brian, thank you, and you can count on us for continuing coverage of the Ebola outbreak, as you'll find in-depth coverage on our website, including information on symptoms, treatment, risk of exposure, and also prevention of Ebola.